In this video, I'm going to teach you a step-by-step process to prepare for your interviews. And I'm going to explain to you the main problem that people have when they are preparing and the step-by-step solution that will get you out of that problem. So stay tuned. The main problem that people have when they come to me and they say, I need help preparing for my interview. They say things like, I want to get my stories straight. I don't know which stories to tell. I'm not sure how to convey my value or my expertise. And they think they need the perfect words, right? They want to nail the interview using the exact perfect words and the perfect script that's going to make somebody say, yes, we need to hire you. And you might think this is what you need to, and it makes perfect sense. But what I'm going to show you is the solution lies deeper than that. The reason why I know this is because you could have the exact perfect words to use and it might still not work. For example, a guy walks into a bar and he sees an attractive woman and he wants to go over and ask her if he can buy her a drink, right? And he might use the words, hey, can I buy you a drink? Those words, if he uses them and he's coming from a place of insecurity and lack of confidence, he could say these exact words and be like, hey, can I buy you a drink? And it comes across very differently than the person who comes and says the same words very confidently. So the same words said by a different person who's coming from a different energy and a different headspace would say something like, hey, can I buy you a drink? And the response is going to be completely different. The feeling, the interaction is going to be completely different, even though the exact same words were used. Words are not what's most important. The exact story that you tell is not actually what's most important. It's actually how you are being. So who you're being when you go into that interview. The problem that a lot of people have when they come to me too is that they've been turned down before. They've been told no before, right? They've been rejected before for a job. So they've made that mean something about them personally. And then they've made that compound and they now have a preconceived idea about themselves. And that's showing up when they show up for the next interview. If that's you, I'm going to explain to you the root of this problem and how you can fix it and how you can avoid it from happening in the future. Side note, you want to check out my video on rejection and how to feel better about rejection and how to understand rejection and make it a part of your process. There's a video on that. We'll link it up. Check that one out. The first thing you need to do is realize that when you have an interview, if it's the only interview you have, or it's an interview that you have expectations for, like you're really excited about it and you really, really want this, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself. And that pressure will not help you show up the way that you want to show up. So if you've only got one interview, then you're going to have pressure, right? You're going to have pressure. If that doesn't work out, you don't have anything else going on, you're going to feel more pressure than if you had 3 other interviews lined up. That's just how it goes. Imagine, like, if you had one interview and that was it, you didn't know what else was happening after that, or you'd done the work to create more interviews and you had this one, but you also knew you had three more coming up next week. How would you feel then? Definitely differently, right? And that's one of the things that I teach you. I will teach you how to create more opportunities so that you're not just relying on one at a time. Because not only does that do something for your confidence, it does something for how you show up when you're not pressuring yourself. And you might not even know you're doing it. But if you only have one interview, you're going to put a lot of pressure on that one opportunity. And you're going to be like, I better not blow this. I better make sure I do well in this. I better make sure I prepare really, really well and memorize all the right things and know all the right answers. And that line of thinking feels very, very heavy and feels very, very pressure and nervous and gives you all the feelings that are going to be counterproductive to how you need to be showing up. That's the first way that we tend to put pressure on ourselves without even knowing it, right? So the solution is we need to be creating more opportunities, which I show you how to do in my program. Secondly, you need to understand and give yourself space to be a human in the interviews. Yes, interviewers know that they're interviewing human beings. So when you think that you need to have all the answers prepared beforehand and you need to know everything before you even get into the room, that is not a possible thing that you could ever do, right? Because there's literally unlimited information that you could consume beforehand. And nobody is going to be able to consume that information beforehand. So you need to allow yourself room to be a human. And so, for example, if they're going to ask you about a time you made a mistake or a time you failed, the reason they're asking that is because they want to know how you handle being a human, how you show up in the world as a human who makes mistakes. Allow yourself to be a human and realize that you can't know everything, and that's okay. You're not supposed to. So what I teach you how to do is have a plan for when you don't know something and how you as your confident self will show up when you don't have the answers to everything, because inevitably that happens either in an interview or on the job or in the lunchroom or in life. We don't always have the answers. So how do we show up when we don't know? Thirdly, you need to learn how to trust yourself. So a lot of the times clients or people will come to me who want to work with me and they'll be like, Natalie, can you look over my stories and tell me if they're good enough? You tell me if this is good enough, right? And they want an outside opinion from somebody outside of themselves because they're not trusting themselves. They're not trusting that they have the credibility, right? But really, you're the one up for the job. You are the expert. You're the one who's been invited to speak to these people so you can help them out, right? So there's a reason why they're speaking to you. There's a reason why they want to talk to you. There's a reason that they think you are capable of doing this work. So they haven't invited me to the interview. They haven't invited your friend to the interview. They've invited you because they know you have something to offer. This is where I want you to really look inward and ask, how can I trust myself? Like, if you've done this work in the past, you've had some sort of experience with it. And a lot of my clients, they do have those answers, right? And yes, of course, somebody else can help you kind of point some things out and give you some feedback and strengthen your answers. That is something that is very valuable. But the core answer is going to be up to you. And you're going to be the one who's going to show up and present it with your experience and the thoughts in your own brain and the process that you went through to create the result that you did in your previous position or whatever story you're choosing to tell. I want you to stop discounting your opinion first, because I find what a lot of people do is they're going to ask for other opinions, right? Like those opinions mean more than their own opinion, but your opinion is the one that counts, right? And just the thought of like, when you get into that loop of like, I need this person's feedback and then I need this person's feedback and then I need somebody else to look over it and somebody else to look over it and I want to get all the feedback I can. That's proving that you're discounting what you already know to be true. And you're not giving yourself any credit for your own thoughts and your own decisions and your own work. So I want you to ask yourself, like, would you hire you? And do you think that this was a good story to tell? And why? What value did it add? What impact did it have? And why are you proud of it? Because as I said before, the words don't matter so much. They're where they come from, the intention behind those words. So when you're able to tell the story very confidently and very proudly, that's what's going to matter. I might tell you, this is the story that you should tell, and you might go tell it, and it might not be your best one because you need to decide, really. And so what I do in my program is I teach you how to trust yourself 100%, right? So I will give you examples and I will show you everything that you need to know to kind of get an idea of what has worked in the past. But I will teach you how to have that confidence in yourself so that you can 100% trust yourself. And that is priceless. That is not something that most people do. And when you have that power, then you will have the control to be able to create anything you want to because you trust your own self. And that is where the true confidence lies. The cause of the confidence is you trusting yourself. And then the fourth and final point is that this next interview that you're going on is simply a preparation for the one after that. And that's how you need to treat it. Don't put a whole bunch of pressure on yourself, whether you know it or not. If it's your only interview, you've got pressure on you. If you're excited about it, treat it like one of many really exciting interviews that you're going to be able to have the opportunity to show up in, right? And if you get this job, great. But the thought of having all that pressure is never going to help you show up the way that you need to show up confidently. So treat the interview as preparation for the next interview. Data collection. What are you going to learn? How are you going to use this interview to the best of your ability? Okay. And that's another thing I teach you how to do in my program is I work with you to use every single opportunity to its maximum capacity so that you can use the next one and get even higher results and become even more confident so that you know you're going to be able to nail any interview you go on. And I teach you a set of criteria that you are completely in control of so that you know that you've mastered the interview process completely. And if you haven't, you know exactly why not, and you know exactly what to go back and do next time. And it is a process, my friends. It doesn't happen immediately. It happens in a minute when it happens. But when we have these expectations that we expect the first interview to work out or the second interview to work out, we set these expectations, then it's very easy to get very disappointed and get thrown out of the game very quickly. And then that slows you down ultimately. Some people end up giving up. Some people don't. This is the process that I teach you so that you know you're doing it right and you have the confidence to do it in the future when you need to get a promotion, in the future when you're going for your next role, and you just build a different level of confidence and a different way of seeing yourself. That's what I have for you, my friends. I hope that helps. So the first one is don't put a lot of pressure on yourself and create other opportunities so that you know you have other things happening. Understand that you need to be human and that you are, and that you might as well embrace that because everybody's expecting a human being, not a perfect person. And understand that that's part of the process is being human. And so give yourself a break. Number 3 is trust yourself and your own knowledge and what you already know, because you are not giving yourself the credit that I can guarantee you need to be giving yourself in order to land this role that you want. And number 4 is accept that this interview is going to be preparation for the next one. And no matter what, you're going to get to your end result, but it's going to be a process. It's not necessarily going to happen the first time you try to get the job that you want. And that's okay because there's always going to be unlimited opportunities coming down the pipe for you as long as you keep creating them. And I teach you exactly how to be 100% in control of your career and your opportunities. And I hope that you'll join me on my free training, Get a Better Job in 30 Days. Click the link below. I teach you all about how to get those opportunities, how to stack them, how to always have opportunities coming through. I teach you how to control the interview in a way where you can really be proud of how you're showing up in every situation. I talk to you about how to lay the groundwork for the salary conversation so you can confidently have that and have complete confidence that what you're saying is backed up by what you've already said in the interview. And then I teach you how to set yourself up for the promotion. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give me a thumbs down. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you on the training. And I also have a podcast if you'd prefer to listen rather than watch YouTube, or if you want to do both. The link below will be in the notes below. And I will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.